Hello, folks, and welcome back once more at twitch.tv/games with Nick. We are continuing our playthrough of Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. We are playing through the case Denise from abroad at the moment. We just got to Vogel's art gallery. So let's see what's up here.
Mr. Holmes, you came. Oh, how kind. Though now, of course, I realize it is because of my game, not the works on display.
It needn't be one or the other.
This is a creepy shot.
Your man's disguise was easily debunked, Mr. Vogel, but I shall admit that you planted in me the seed of curiosity.
Ah, terrific. I had no doubt you'd put the pieces together. Let us call it an opening gambit before the real game begins.
So, this little game of yours, what's it about?
An enigma to solve. A locked area in the basement with no windows found brutally vandalized.
Whoa.
I have no clue how it was possible.
What about this intrusion? What happened?
Last night, I was about to leave the gallery when I heard a noise downstairs. I went to the basement, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It was admittedly a rudimentary inspection. It is not uncommon to get rats down there, so seeing nothing of note, I left and locked up the building. When I returned this morning, alas, I discovered that part of the exhibition had been torched, and there was no sign of the intruder. The mystery being, of course, that all the doors to the gallery were locked exactly as I left them.
And the door to the basement is the only entrance?
Correct. Tell me you're not intrigued.
And this locked area downstairs, what exactly was it?
The under gallery. It's always shut, and I'm the only one with the key.
Ah, so this is your private collection, not part of the gallery.
Oh, no. It's an exclusive exhibition of eccentric pieces. Only a select cadre of artists, investors, and collectors are admitted. Not everyone deserves to have their eyes opened.
Well, this matter is certainly within my wheelhouse.
This intrusion troubles me. Please take a look around if you're willing. The under gallery is through the door at the end.
I will see what I see.
Alright. Yep, that's a Gauguin. Grave of a suicide victim, Wilhelm Kotorbinski. Hope for Moses and Stephen VI, Jean-Paul Lawrence.
You sure you don't like art, Sherry?
The Origin of the World, Gustave Courbet. With a plant covering the best bits. The Apparition, Gustave Moreau. Bollington from Behind, Sherlock. That's nice, but Lunch on the Grass, Edouard Manet. And go up. I don't want to go down just yet. Guardian Spirit of the Waters, Odile and Redham. Love and Pain, Edvard Munch. Ooh. Those we've looked at. Okay, so I guess it is time to go downstairs.
Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
The AC Swinburne room.
A simplistic attempt at provocation.
Okay, yeah, that's, I mean... Want to call it an art piece? Sure, but...
The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame. Old, and hasn't been used for a long time.
Alright.
A true artist never shows an unfinished piece.
Not sure why there's a bed down here.
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness unbroken, John. A handprint of the thing from another world. But it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane.
The coal handprint. Somebody was hiding in the coffin.
Sodden and mold-ridden. One presumes deliberately.
The, Oscar Wilde room. This is where the burning happened.
Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person could do such a thing. A Malpal butt. Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal moustache.
Right, what else? I'm not sure why we did this for painting thing. And nothing seems to come from it otherwise. Maybe it's the number of paintings that we have to match up. But for now, let's keep going.
The parasites of creativity. Or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interests. Saturn devouring his sun. Grim composition.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet somehow beautiful.
I feel like I've checked everything out. Let me go into my mind palace and... No. Well, I guess I never actually opened
Closed
this.
with a metal bolt. Footprints. Size 9.5.
Alright, I think we're ready for a reconstruction. So that clearly happened. But did it? No, where would the intruder escape from, you know? Yeah, I'm thinking he organized the whole thing. Like, that's why it seems like the guy's lame. It's just that, he faked it so. He burned the paintings, but he did save one. Because why would somebody keep a thing And of course, it's seeing who sneaked down. I don't know why this guy's sneaking, but there's no other way that somebody could actually escape.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
No? Am I not trying? It can be the guy, right? That makes no sense. How did he leave?
You're not even
No,
trying,
yeah,
Sherry.
this makes no sense.
Concentrate.
But I did try this other version. Is there another option that is not just the... Those are the only two. I have to go up. No, all the dots are downstairs.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Okay, what am I missing here? I guess the intruder wouldn't have entered from the stairs. Was that my mistake?
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel
Oh,
to the
I
floor.
see.
Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room. But the vandalism was a cover for the theft.
Alright, we should go talk to him then.
The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
Death, right? Saturn eating his son, the dead shark, the mushrooms growing over something.
It's a reflection on mortality. Nothing lasts forever, no beauty sustains itself, and everything succumbs to darkness. Am I right?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many filtered through the subjective mind. That forgetting, embellishing, lying machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel. even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see then why you dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Aha.
That was interesting.
Mr. Vogel, my investigation has revealed that the intrusion was not merely vandalism but theft. The limping visitor left your place with a canvas.
That's very impressive.
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My, your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wild Room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Interesting.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, he insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
What was depicted in the piece?
A bound woman, wrapped in robes, being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. Even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
Okay, so we need to go in the archive. This is probably a city archive business, right? We're looking for somebody's address. City. Alright, citizens, British. The documents? No. Old city. Maybe it's not the period I'm looking for. Occupation. Businesses, legal documents, other legal documents, official legal documents. Fuck. No, maybe it's not City Hall. Maybe I should be looking at the newspaper archive instead. Let's try that. Finding an address to me seemed more like a City Hall kind of thing, but maybe celebrities in the old city. The brawl at artist sellout. The past week has brought us a new scandal regarding the local so-called artistic higher society. It all began at the painting sellout named by local artists as the Dance of Decadence. The director of a publishing house, The Lion, Darren Terwick, broke the deal by throwing a chair at the decadent artist, Boniface Mercurio. As Mr. Terwick said later, he did it because Mr. Mercurio brought dishonor to his name. Colin Ryder graciously reminds the reader that recently Mr. Mercurio was spotted with Mrs. Terwick at a coffee shop. Afterward, an orchestra conductor, Kurt Gallagher, smashed the painting across Mr. Terwick's head to protect his friend Mercurio. A large brawl started, including a large number of costumers. After a protracted fight, the police arrived. All the high society brawlers were arrested and placed under guard for a week. What a breathtaking event it was! As your loyal personal advisor, I suggest you obtain a souvenir from the sellout. Unfortunately, it has since ended, but Boniface Mercurio himself invites a reader to visit his home and purchase one of his paintings. You will find him at the address Hermes Avenue between Scarlet Street and Olive Street in Old City. Alright. So... we said... Hermes Avenue between Scarlet and Olive. Right then. Oh. Is it this one? Yes.
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, ma'am. I'm looking for the...
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at home?
Dearie, tell me, because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead? Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police.
I think the reason why we have the picture is that I'm gonna try and disguise myself as Boniface Mercurio. Means I wanna go south. And then west. And get into the market. Talk to the guy that said close.
Let's pick something that...
Alright, I need the artist. Perfect. Let me rent stuff, because I really want to focus on Messier. Artist bristles. And artist stain powder.
Be careful with what you've taken.
Alright, yeah, back the way we came. You're gonna look exactly like Boniface Mercurio. No? Nope. Wrong way. Also the wrong way. Oh, no. This is not the spot. It's the one further down the street.
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah. Old age does terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
How are you, Mum? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake! How many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please, accept my thanks.
I would rather accept your rent. You promised to pay me several weeks ago and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just change the lock. And I won't fall for those cow eyes.
Alright. This way? Yes. Ooh, that's not good. That is not good in the least.
Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days. A normal kitchen knife. Could be the murder weapon. The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife. Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags. The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting. It is called expressionism.
Lots of fibers on glass.
It appears the wine was truly awful. I wonder where he got that fancy camera.
Oh, here.
Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching. Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here. The chest has been searched. Red skin, tails on the back. Reminds me of Werder's description of the stolen painting.
Ooh. That is a pretty gross painting.
The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material. Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon? The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material.
So he's in here and he hears something happen. Someone enters and starts searching shit. They fight and the guy gets a knife. Fight over the painting. The one thing I'm not entirely sure about is this last position. Let's try this one.
Mercurio was developing
Yes.
photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him.
Anything I've missed? I didn't see any yellow dots pop, so I don't think so. I think it's time for some Mind Palace work. The visitor didn't want to kill Mercurio. Mercurio's murder wasn't the thief's goal.
The chest has been searched. It's time for some chemical magic, John.
Oh, there we go. So, we need a -2, a 1, and a 2. Which... you can just swap this and subtract 1 from this, and we're good. Oh, I need to swap it back. It's a still life painting of Mercurio's room. Okay, this must mean something is missing.
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything. Let's put it on the easel where it belongs. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John?
Well, I'm spotting one difference.
If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here.
What's the other difference?
Nothing behind it. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? Nothing behind it.
Like, I did find the skull, but I don't have to... Why is this popping up? Do I have to look at it more closely or something?
Nothing behind it. If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here.
Okay, but what if the intruder did take it? Huh? You ever think of that, Sherry? Like, this thing is not there, but what do I... What am I supposed to be doing? I am confused. Oh.
Monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
Oh, we have an actual
What were you
picture.
saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crying.
A picture that
such
inspired
life,
the
daily routine.
painting, I guess.
Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all
Okay, we're
looks
investigating an
like
orgy,
love.
apparently.
It wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation. And the girl, she was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse, all right? Stick to the character, tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details.
What's wrong, dear? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking about that limping man. I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared. And I thought maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband used to smoke those. They have a horrible smell I can recognize from a mile away.
Can I ask a favor?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat, and don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
Alright, we respected John's wish.
Phew, Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly. Now,
Let's see. To bring woman, we'd probably need to switch to our worker outfit. Yeah, let's get that to yours. Actually, yeah, your stuffer's fine. Nothing. We should be good to go.
take off your outfit.
Oh no! Good night. I meant to put the worker outfit
I
on.
can't let you walk around in
Okay.
dead man's clothes.
Already changed. I had already changed it, John. Fuck's sake. So let me find a worker. Do you have a specific spot to ask? No. Why are there only kids around? You.
May I ask you something?
You'd better get out of my sight, pal.
Apparently not. You.
Help me, please.
I like you, friend, but I can't help you.
This isn't working. You might need a different tack.
Maybe we need to find somebody of African descent. But where the fuck do I find somebody of African descent? Is the question. Oh, well, you're a girl,
Help
but...
me, please.
Oh, I've heard talk.
Oh, thank God. Scars on the girl's face seem to be from Eve's ethnic group tribe. The only place where you can find Eve's people in Cordon is the refugee camp located under Victoria Bridge between Scaladio and Silverton. Scaladio and Silverton. Victoria Bridge. Okay, let's warp here then. Oh wait, no, that's the thing. We need to go north, this way. This is how we get to the refugee camp. I bet.
Beasts?
Can I ask you a question?
I don't think I know.
Boy, expect a severely racist attitudes about to pop up.
They're completely livid.
First they come to our land, then they murder our people.
Drop them all into the sea!
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm from City Hall. They sent me to oversee the situation.
No, you're not. I'm the supervisor of the camp, and I'm the one who's handling the current situation on behalf of City Hall. Ronald Harlow at your service. Now, sir, tell me who you really are, or you'll have to explain yourself to the police. I have full authority to request they detain you.
Very well, Mr. Harlow. I am a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness on my case. Sherlock Holmes is my real name.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in, so please, step back.
Who would I request authorization from? Work indoors, pour lightning. Wants to look authoritative. Sweating, stressed. Sedentary. Rest appear older. He's attempting to look older. But he's outside of his comfort zone.
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are they? You consider yourself a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
Mr. Harlow, how did the refugees end up here exactly?
Oh, so you're not from around here yourself?
I've been away for some time, but I read the papers.
Yes, this whole story has been in the papers for almost a year now. They were smuggled to Cordona on a ship from Africa.
Smuggled? Then why didn't you deport them?
The smugglers managed to sneak them to shore and hide them inside an abandoned warehouse. When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We aren't even certain as to which ship it was. We have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days, you see.
So you decided to lock them up under a bridge?
There was no other option. We're still trying to work out what to do with them. I only hope we'll find a humane solution and not put them on a raft and float them out to sea.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here? What are your responsibilities?
What I do and what I am responsible for are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision, and the refugees in general. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every City Hall door trying to obtain some funding, or at least rations for the camp.
The police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let the refugees disperse into the island, so there's a significant police presence guarding the camp. Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating.
What a nice name,
Tell
Tewkesbury.
him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words.
Alright, let me actually swap to a more appropriate outfit.
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's being questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
Alright.
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body. 0.
Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently. Malpal, soaked with salt water. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk.
If they find out about the passage, everything will go to...
There's a passage. Nope. 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 Oh, I missed one.
If they find out about the...
Lost officers are worried that the situation of the dead body will put the camp into strict lockdown and they will lose the money flow they were earning from their scheme.
Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should sniff around in the... Sherry, just look at this. Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius bureaucrat came up with this idea?
Help me, please.
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Okay. Nothing to look at there. There's the actual dead body.
Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here.
There's his own dirk.
I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something?
It's like a Maya number. Now, why would you have such a tattoo? That's a good question, but...
Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping, John. A violent death. This man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John. Could you help me?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Clearly need to speak with actual refugees.
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately. He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
Okay, we're gonna grab this.
Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound.
Okay, we need other stuff too.
Someone was dragged against their will.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
That will kill, not save him. It won't do any good.
Okay. Oh, I guess I should look at this too.
Clearly a left handprint here. A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal.
It's gonna be some other herb I can pick. I don't think I'm supposed to move back out of the camp. I think there's probably more stuff in here. Right there.
I can use this to stop the infection from spreading.
Okay. Maybe something in here too. Oh, and then water.
I'll use it to create a solution. I've plated all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
So we need a -4 and a -6, so we're just gonna take this and take this and double it and switch it and switch it. Actually, we can just first add then switch. Oh no. I got it wrong. I need -4 red and -6 blue. So I can do this. We can take this, decrease it by 1, add these two, add the result to that, and swap. That should do it. Oh, wait, no. I need to first swap this to make it negative. Oh, except, oh, no, this doesn't work. Let me reset again. Okay, so we do the 4. We do the 1 and the 3. We do the 3. We subtract 1 from the 4 to make it 3. We add everything, and then finally we swap. That does it. There. Boom. Okay, we got the solution. We can just go ahead and help the refugee.
Thank you. This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Can I actually talk to you? No? Not yet. Alright, continue examining the crime scene.
Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment. No hint of blood or impact. It might have been used as an improvised weapon. The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike.
So the 7 we've already examined. Up to 5 we did.
Carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment. A man's footprint. A heavy boot with a worn-out sole. Police boots. Always happy to trample evidence. You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place? It's unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards. No, it's too short for these walls or cliffs. Sealed shut. I doubt our man could get through these grates.
We're assuming it just didn't go in from the front door. Gotta be honest, I'm a bit of a loss here. Actually, can I interact with the guy? Nah, I just kidding. How did he get in? Apparently my intuition was right.
A single Malpalbutt. Roadman's cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
Alright, okay. I feel validated. I was like, didn't you just walk through the front door? And the answer is, yes. Yes, he did. So, this is by the thing. It was pulling her and the thing fell. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely this guy who... No, he was not protecting her. He was trying to drag her away. He was being dragged by the guy, he tried to drag her away, and he stabbed the guy that was there. Here, as this guy approached, she fell because the thing broke. So he was running from the guy. Then another man was coming up. He got stabbed with his own... Oh, actually, no, it's even better, yeah. He tripped. And he fell in the water.
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
You still here?
Inspector, I believe I can aid your investigation. I know who the dead man is and what really happened here.
You do? Well, good for you. But I'm afraid I'm not the one you need to share your findings with. Speak to Mr. Harlow here. He's the one responsible for settling things in the camp.
You don't even care to listen?
Oh, I do care. And maybe even more than I need to. But I'm only here today to lock the place up, question witnesses, and file the facts. It's sad, but coming up with conclusions is not among my tasks here. You fellows at City Hall do that. Anyway, speak to the supervisor. I'll just stand by and listen to what you have to say.
Alright.
Go and bother someone else with this, son. I've already told you all I've learned. Go and bother someone else with this, son. Your problem, not mine. Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads. I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clerk can make any difference in this place?
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble. Help me, please.
They often take us from the camp to work. Most don't mind, though. It's the only way to get a glimpse of freedom.
According to the refugees, some shitty people regularly visit the camp and take refugees away with them to perform various work. The work is usually hard, but the refugees receive money and food. The girl was abused after she was supposedly taken to such work. Since then, the refugees decided not to allow their movement to be taken.
So there's a smuggling ring in the camp. This wasn't the first time that someone freely entered the camp to take a refugee out.
At least it was certainly his last time. My gut tells me that we'll learn more about this ring when we find out where the thug came from.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Nayla. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla, if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Nayla? My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Nayla, I'm sorry. I'm not...
Well, at least he admits it.
Good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not...
Well, I'm looking for a tattoo. The other thief was in Mercury's flat. Their intention might have been to locate the terrible photograph. The thief wanted the photograph. The thief was in Mercurio's flat to steal the photograph, but found out Mercurio instead and killed him in self-defense. The thug wanted to kidnap the girl. The thug also visited Vogel's gallery. A henchman, not merely a thief. He's also a kidnapper, a henchman who takes on various roles. Badges such as these are usually worked for high-ranking officials. The color from the photograph must be one. Alright. Cross-shaped badge. So we're looking for British high-ranking officials.
My best work, John. By a long shot.
It's an archive. It's probably...
Nayla doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
So from here we should be able to... no, not yet. From here we should be able to fast travel. Yes. Oh. Let me try City Hall first. It is never entirely clear what you can find where when it comes to these things. Officials, British, occupation. Thomas Norden, born 1840 in London, graduated from University of Oxford in 64. In 69, started working at the Home Office as a secretary. 75, took up position as a military commissioner in India. Honored acquitted herself with the Order of the Bath in 77. 1st March 78 was appointed as British envoy in Cordona with his own cabinet in the city hall. Well, that kind of goes all the way to the top, huh?
I'm curious, how did Mycroft recruit you? I doubt you're a field agent. I imagine you work with intelligence.
That's correct. Your brother noticed me when I tracked down a spy at the archives. That's how our cooperation began. And you? Did Mycroft force you into this?
Not at all. We simply have a mutual interest in someone. Or something.
Of course. A fruitful and willing collaboration, I'm sure.
Well, I'm his younger brother. I have to accept the consequences of being a close relative of an official figure.
I suppose, in a way, we are colleagues, Mr. Holmes.
In the remotest way possible, Miss Oni.
Have you found anything helpful? Have you found anything helpful?
Ooh, what am I supposed to ask? I just don't think that I'm missing. I feel like the thought maybe means we should ask the police?
Would you like to report a crime?
Oh, okay. I need to go back to the camp. Which is over here. This is unusual, but they do mean for me to go back to the refugee camp and talk to the chief officer and to Harlow. I guess it makes sense. Yes. Right.
Murder! Beasts!
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
You still here?
I'll just...
No.
You...
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck. 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scaladio. His company imports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo, just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now. Or hanged, right?
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
I guess it means I need to go back to camp. Journalist probably here. I would suspect. Because we're looking for gossip. Recent. Expertise. Eladio. No, it's not gonna be here, is it? Smuggling. And Claudio. Suspects. Nicola Bernadotte questioning summary. Nicola Bernadotte, born 1834, is a businessman and patron well known in Cordona. Founder and owner of the Bernadotte Company Limited, established 1873. Main office, Southeastern Scaladia, Bazaar Road, near the crossing with Rome Road. Mr. Bernadotte was brought in for questioning on February 13, 1876, after a tip-off from one of our anonymous sources. The source provided information that points to Mr. Bernadotte's connection to the smuggling of liquors and items of antique art between British colonies, Cordona, and the rest of the United Kingdom. People allegedly working for Mr. Bernadotte's company were previously linked to a number of unlawful activities, including robbery, violence, racketeering, and blackmail. Mr. Bernadotte was called in for questioning as a witness, since there is no tangible evidence available to serve any charges. During the questioning carried out by myself and Officer Booth, Mr. Bernadotte claimed to be unaware of any operations and facts provided by our source. No information could be obtained on his activities before he moved on to Britain, documented or otherwise. As Mr. Bernadotte claims, up until 73 he lived in Sicilia, Italy, where he had a vending business until he moved to London and began importing goods. Conclusion, it is not possible to incriminate Mr. Bernadotte with anything connected to the case. Okay. And give me a few minutes. Alright, sorry for the longer than expected break, but we are back. Okay, so we can find Bernadotte in... where was it? It was at the top, I think. Southeastern Scaladio Bazaar Road, near to crossing with Roman Road. Still not entirely sure who to talk about the profile to. Southeastern Scaladio Bazaar Road. Near the crossing with Roman Road. So I need to go northeast. He said Bazaar Road near the crossing with Roman Road. Why can they not have numbers?
All fresh issues are sold out.
Is it one of these?
It
Yes.
seems they're not expecting guests. I won't wait for an invitation, John.
Well, the door is locked. So... I guess Bernadotte Limited was in giant letters there, but... How... What do we do? I'm going to sneak in from the back. What about on this side? Oh yeah.
These workers don't look like your average Cordona folk.
They're refugees from the camp.
That's our way in, Sherry.
What do you mean it's our way
You go
in?
talk to that beef. I'll sneak up from behind and take him out.
Hey, yo. This is private property. You lost something.
I'm here to discuss business with Mr. Bernadotte. I tried the front door, but...
Mr. Bernadotte isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away or you'll never walk again. Capito?
It's in Mr. Bernadotte's best interest to...
1...
Listen, the man Bernadotte sent to...
So...
Get him!
I did try to resolve this peacefully. Too simple.
That's a head guy.
No more crime for you until next month.
You know, I gotta say, I'm not the hugest fan of these sections, but they're never too annoying when they're the actual story-based ones. The health regen is generous.
Don't cry, you'll...
Just give him the pepper snuff.
The snuff regen is generous.
coming for you.
No more crime.
The snuff's ready. Oh, you killed him.
Oh, oops. Well, did not mean to kill him, but
Don't bother moving.
Give him the pepper snuff. You can overcome the brute now.
No more crime for you until next month. Too simple.
I'm bummed that I actually killed someone, but hey. This door?
Sherry, look. This seems familiar.
Masks, traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa. A Dogon statue from West Africa. A century old at least. VH Grindley Flow Blue tableware. This is what lies behind the facade of Bernadotte Company Limited. An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it. Let's see what's hidden there.
Oh boy. That is something.
Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
It's all right. I won't harm you.
Like you
Excuse me,
didn't
just
harm
one
the folks
question.
on the way here.
Sorry. We don't see much here.
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
Oh, we're supposed to go to City Hall and...
Don't come any closer. One step and I'll shred you to pieces.
Have you ever tried to pick up your teeth with broken fingers?
Righto. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir. I think I hear... I've got to... It's better I leave.
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth. You acted so much like me.
It's because we are the same.
Please don't shoot me. I have a family. Spare me.
They look like I would be shooting you.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. Then come here, and we shall talk.
I'm not sure why I keep examining these things. They don't really do much.
Whenever you're ready. I'd hate to intrude.
Ink Tattoo is higher rank. Doesn't shun dirty work. At Delagra. Cold-blooded. Married. I'm gonna go with Ruthless Brown Lord.
Bad news. The thug you sent to the refugee camp only succeeded in stabbing himself. His next and final journey will be to the morgue.
Hold your horses. Who the hell are you?
Sherlock Holmes. And you are Niccolo Bernadotti, a smuggler, kidnapper, and notorious cutthroat, among other things.
Few men would dare waltz into my office and address me like that. You are either overconfident or unintelligent. This is private property. Give me one reason why I should not shoot you on the spot. I am sure my friends at the station would call it self-defense.
As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest.
Mr. Bernadotti, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself. I was hired, privately, to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization, and thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotti.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office. So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotti?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, but I am yet to decide what I shall do with it. I know the man in the photo is a British envoy. What interest do you have in his downfall?
I must admit, I am rather impressed by how comprehensively you have pursued this matter. And so, you deserve the honest answer. My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
I could not help but appreciate the collection of smuggled artifacts in your storeroom. You have rather diversified your business.
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not all smuggling is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers. And furthermore,
Sure.
I supply many immigrants with a taste of home.
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people in far-flung lands for whom my services are a lifeline. Without them, they would starve. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I am speaking from experience.
Why did you send your man to remove the woman from the camp?
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. Victims and witnesses all too often disappear. I thought the girl was safer with us. I did not anticipate what would happen at the camp.
What a very convenient way of thinking.
I saw refugees from the camp at your warehouse. They work for you.
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall and the police. Thanks to me, refugees can work and be paid. It's a pathway to freedom.
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have heard no complaints. They seem happy just to get out of that slum.
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
Ha! I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me, as much as he deserves.
So, in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
The front door's
Such
open,
is
sir.
the arrogance of British imperialism.
If you want to
I take your point.
Have I, correctly completed this? No.
Bernadotte Limited will always look forward to your visits.
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor. 1875. Was taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph with the governor, do you think?
You definitely don't have one.
Painting was blackmail material. Neil was violated and very nearly kidnapped. First of all, I must make sure that she and her baby are secured. I don't believe I am okay with that. I'm still missing something here, though. What is it? I think it's anything in here.
This marble fella, it's like he was made after my image. You see it?
I don't know if there's anything in here from Mammon. Be something else in his office that I missed? I mean, you know, if we have to, we can leave a stone unturned, but...
I need some time. If
For now, I think I'll just head out. I'm realizing what I'm supposed to do is just go to City Hall and talk to the envoy. British envoy, here he is.
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business.
No time to shave. Didn't sleep last night. Well worn, never removed. Red stain of wine, potentially. What am I missing? Oh, here. Days at work late. I'm gonna try and assume the best of it.
Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure? Didn't you hear what I just said?
you blame yourself for what you did. Won't be any good unless you confess to me, so I'll try to be polite.
What sort of did are we talking about? Are you from the press?
I'm here because of Naylor.
Who?
You don't remember her name.
Lad, if you won't tell me where you came, I'll call for someone here to sort you out, if you get my meaning.
Do you recognize this man?
We definitely look alike. But you have the wrong person.
Really? Then you won't mind if I pass this along to the newspaper?
All right. All right. Is this about money, as you said in the letter? What kind of sum are we talking about?
I've never written a single word to you. Bribery, not my style.
So, that letter, it wasn't from you?
Well, it appears that more and more people in the city are finding out about your despicable hobby, doesn't it? You're in the clutches of justice, and very soon they will squeeze you. It's in your best interest to cooperate.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr.
Sherlock Holmes? And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of
this guy is not in remorse. This guy...
Respect?
This guy's a party goer.
That's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr.
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
You mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position. Yet, here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes. And I'm no exception.
You still don't seem very sad
let's
about
return
the
to the beginning.
mistakes.
What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault?
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just...
Sure.
bad circumstance.
I'm gonna pretend I believe you.
Boniface Mercurio, does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio...
Mercurio?
Well, him, yes. I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence. Mr. Holmes, I built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the Crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt. Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
That's not all. Naylor deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I will do anything except that.
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
So I'm in a spot where I essentially have to choose... Now, do I rather help Neela herself or help the refugees? And I think partly because I don't want to assist the criminal underlord, and partly because helping the refugees would do more good than the reparation that Neela could receive. I think that's where we're gonna go, but... So I could either make everything public, and let things sort it out, or help the refugees by giving the envoy the picture. This is actually a moral dilemma. I'm gonna go ahead and choose the smaller evil for the greater good.
Have you thought it all through?
Almost. The refugees, what will happen to them?
Well, I wouldn't be standing here in this fancy office if I didn't know how to pull the right strings. In fact, it's the only thing I know. The local governor will receive a decree signed by the House of Lords containing a request to patriate the refugees in the name of the Crown.
From where did you gain such influence?
I never asked you how you found the photograph. So don't ask the magician how he performs his tricks.
But how can I believe you?
Ugh, I presume you do believe in my selfishness. The initiator of the refugee salvation will be none other than the British envoy, savior and protector of those in need. It's a win situation for me, too. Now, what about the photograph?
You deserve to be punished, but the greater good is what matters here. I won't bargain it for justice for Naylor.
I'm glad that this situation is over.
It will be over when you settle the matter of the refugees.
You have my word, Mr. Holmes.
Ugh, that felt icky.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
Vogel still feels weird.
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio. Perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotti's office.
Bernadotti? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then. What happened to your crusade of truth? Was it not that important after all?
No truth will satisfy you, Mr. Vogel.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen not to tell me, I respect your intention. But it is just rather boring, isn't it?
It is what it is.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
Okay, that's kind of
Previously,
weird,
you
but
mentioned
okay.
there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh dear, I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
If I'm not mistaken, the whole orgy scene in Cordona is not something that we're done with. We'll have to deal with it again in the next case. And there's one more case at the paper apparently, so let's go check that out.
Good luck, Mr. Holmes.
No? Can you what?
Killed with one perfect shot to each eye.
There's an incredible murder. You find record about a man who was killed in the old ruins in the southwestern side of Grand Surrey. Apparently both his eyes were shot out. That's strange cruelty, but it's worth investigating. Eyes wide shut. That's fun. Alright. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go home. Oh, actually, no. There's one more thing we should go. Oh no, that's where the case is happening. Yeah. Let me pop one of these. No, the old ruins are very much oh. Well, that's where the case we just talking about happened. So you know we're gonna go take care of it later.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
Correct. With whom do I have the pleasure?
Emilio Esteva. Happy to make your acquaintance. I am here on behalf of Mycroft, your brother. He's on his way to Cordona. In the meantime, he requests your assistance with a sensitive matter. My orders are to provide you with the details.
I'm listening.
You have my attention, Mr. Esteva.
Mark Ridley, the son of General Arthur Ridley, is being blackmailed. Suffice to say, the compromising material is of a delicate nature. The matter is of no small importance to the Crown, especially given the status quo on Cordona.
What about the status quo?
The Ottoman population holds a certain animosity towards the colonial rule. It's been this way since we took over the island. General Ridley made concessions with their leaders, but I'm afraid we are still teetering on the edge of open hostility.
What does Mycroft want me to do? Retrieve the blackmail material?
No, sir, nothing of the sort. Mark Ridley is meeting the blackmailer atop the old city bridge tower. You shall observe from a distance, then establish the blackmailer's identity. Do not attempt to arrest him. We'll handle it from there.
Saving the best for yourself? Fine.
There is a cafe just over the bridge that provides a good vantage point. Please report to me when you are done. I'll be waiting for you here, and remember, discretion is of the essence.
Alright. Oh, this is the thing we got, huh?
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar. Did you just remember something? Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So,
oh,
you continue
he's already
to
here.
pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare you?
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything. I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
When you know where this lands, you're like,
There's
maybe.
a white lie which has as much use in the realm of
Maybe.
the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental. Because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
And he just walks away. Alright. So we actually are not gonna do the downstairs room for a bit.
Well done, Sherry. The hall now looks much as it did in our youth. Brings back fond memories.
I remember how angry Mycroft was about these marks. He called it a frivolous, childish endeavor.
Let's get to the bedroom first.
I can sense an incoming memory, Sherry. Do you?
I was so frustrated to find only one bed in this room. Mycroft initially refused to bring another for you, but after a week-long dispute, he gave in.
What a stubborn man. How well do you think he'd sleep without a bed?
Shortly after arrival, Sherry clashed with Mycroft about the furniture. I needed a place to sleep, but there was only one bed in our room. Outrageous. Convincing his older brother was a challenge, but after a week-long dispute, he finally gave in, and I became the proud owner of my very own bed.
We used to take a shortcut down the banisters, much to everyone's annoyance.
Oh yeah, what fun. They had to fix these handrails several times. I wouldn't try it now, Sherry. Tempting though it is.
Alright. Look at our mother's bedroom.
Oh, the room looks nice now. It's comforting to see the way it was meant to be.
My mother always preferred to spend her rare moments of lucidity with me.
That's true. She even stopped Mycroft from joining you. Remember?
I do. He didn't show it, but he was upset. I think Mother paid more attention to me because I was younger.
In her rare moments of lucidity, Sherlock's mother always wanted to spend time with him. One day she found us preparing for the play, and she helped us apply the stage makeup in front of the mirror. Mycroft wanted to join us, but she refused. Alright. So I don't want to continue A Mother's Love just yet. And I think this is also probably a good place to stop it for now. So I'm gonna just go downstairs, walk out, so we autosave. I'm gonna make a manual save as well. Yeah, so thank you for watching. You can find me at twitch.tv/gameswithnick and youtube.com/gameswithnick. If you're watching this on Twitch, be aware we're not going to be streaming tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to update the schedule for that. Business trip, things happen. Make sure to check out the YouTube channel as well. Like, subscribe. There's some extra stuff there that I'm posting only there. Partly because Twitch won't let me post VODs unless I'm affiliate, but you know, whatever. So if you go on youtube.com/gameswithnick, you can also find a playthrough of Super Mario Bros. As well as a playthrough of the original God of War. Check those out. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Like, subscribe, but also make sure to come check me out on Twitch. I'm streaming something 3 times a week, usually on Sunday mornings, Monday afternoons, and Wednesday afternoons, and then sometimes, if I can, I'll also throw in a couple of bonus streams around. So, if that sounds interesting to you, come check me out on Twitch. I appreciate your passion. I appreciate you watching the things that I'm streaming. Yeah, so I will be back on Wednesday night if you're watching this on Twitch, with probably something different. I think we might be playing a little bit of Scratches for about a week or so. This point-and-click adventure that I love a lot. And once we're done with that, we'll move on to Final Fantasy X for like 2-3 weeks. In any case, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.